So this is the final part of the study guide for the Chapter 1 test, and this goes over the performance task that you'll see. So the performance task is pretty much like this one, just the name is different and the numbers are different. And so here it says Bill is typing a handwritten report, and there are 356 pages. He's already typed 13 pages. So let's start underlining some parts that are important here. And some of the parts that are important are how many pages. We got 356 pages, but he's already typed 13 of them. He has 1 week, including weekends, so that tells us how many days to finish the project. And so let's see what they want. They want to write an equation to determine the number of pages per day. So that's what we want to find out, pages per day. Bill must type to finish the project. We're going to define our variable as well. So our variable is always going to end up being the question. So whatever question they're asking for, that's what you're going to use as your variable. So let's do this. Let's call, how about, since it's pages per day, how about we use P for the number of pages per day Bill must type. So this way we understand what our answer is once we come up with it. So then it also says write an equation. So we got to do two things here. We're writing an equation, then we're determining, and then we're going to define the variable also. So when we write the equation, I need to start with this kind of setup here. I'm going to have a variable amount, and then from there I'm going to end up having a constant or a starting point. And then I'm going to set it equal to a total. That's kind of how I'm setting up this problem. So my starting point is what we've already done. We've already done 13 pages, so that's my starting point. So I'm adding 13 to the variable amount. Well, my variable amount is two components. First of all, how many days do I have to do the project? Well, I have 1 week. 1 week including weekends. So 1 week is 7 days. So we'll say 1 week equals 7 days. So something we had to know. So I'm going to do 7 times the number of pages per day plus the 13 pages is going to equal the total, which was 356. So that's the first part. Now we're going to move on to the next part. So what gets you full credit for this problem is twofold. First of all, we need our equation and we need to define the variable. So we've got those two parts checked off. So it's always important. Make sure you read the question carefully to find out what you need. Now it says to solve the equation. So we're going to take the equation 7p plus 13 equals 356. We're going to solve the equation, explain what the solution means. So now we just go ahead and solve. So we're going to subtract the 13, and we're left with this 7p equals, and we've got 343. So our next step is just divide by 7. So we can set it up off to the side just to figure out what that number is. 7 goes into 34 almost 5 times, but not quite, 4 times. So it makes 28. Do the subtraction, we got 6 left over. Into 63, 9 times evenly. So it looks like 49 pages per day. So we've solved for it. P equals 49 pages per day. So that's part of the problem. I'm going to box that answer. But the next part says explain the solution. So we had to solve and explain. So explain would be this. We would say Bill must type 49 pages each day for the next 7 days to complete the project on time. So we need some sort of sentence explaining what that represents. So again, we've covered what the questions are, we've solved, and we explained the solution. Well, let's move on to the next part. It says Bill can type 48 pages per day. So that's what he can do. So if he can do 48 pages per day, not the 49, but only 48, should he ask for an extension? So let's go ahead and answer that. Well, if he needs to be able to type 49 pages, he can only type 48. He can't do it. So what we would say is that yes, Bill needs to ask for an extension because he needs to be able to type 49 pages per day. Alright, so we explained that part. Now they're asking, if so, how many days does he need? So how many days extra does he need to be able to do the job? Well, let's try doing this. Let's say if he has 48 pages he can do 48 pages per day. He's got 7 days to do the job. 7 days. You see, the days will cancel when I multiply, and I'm left with pages. So I need to multiply those two numbers. And when I do that, I get 336 pages. That's how many pages he can do. Well, he needs to be able to type 343 pages because he's already done, up in this part right over here, he's already completed 13 of the pages. So he only has 343 to go. So what we do is we'd set up another little problem. We have 343 pages to do, and we're going to subtract 336, the amount he could do. And so when we do that, that gives us 7 pages. So he needs to be able to just type 7 pages left. Well, he can type 48 pages in one day. So all he needs is 7/48 days to do it, which is a fraction of a day. But it says that he cannot ask for a part of a day. So how many days will he need? So we'll say, since Bill can't ask for a part of a day, he should ask for 1 extra day. 1 extra day to finish those 7 pages. So let's just make sure we've covered what we needed to cover here. So again, it asks us the question: will he have enough? Does he need to ask for an extension if he only can type 48 pages per day? And yes, we've covered that. And then it says, if so, how many days does he need? And we covered that. It was just 1 day, 1 extra day. So we covered that, and we explained our answer. So that's what you're going to see on that part. Again, making sure that you're careful on coming up with the correct answers, but also on the explanations.